So this was left here by the previous owner. We found it in the tower room, and we've been using it in the bathroom because there are no nets or anything, and we have got one neighbour over there that can see in. And I've bought some lace, so I'm going to take these panels out. They just slide out, and paint the wood and put the panels back in. Right, so I bought this screen downstairs, and I bought some lace panels. They're curtains, but I'm going to cut them up to use on there. I've bought a few pairs, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to need yet. I don't think they're long enough to get 2 strips out of. And I've bought some blue paint to paint this. So I've got my new sewing machine, which I haven't used since I've been here. I used to have my own soft furnishing business, and I had a semi-industrial machine, and I bought this in the UK. I've used it once or twice, but it's like using a toy. So I wish I hadn't got rid of the other one, but I always wanted an embroidery machine, so I'm yet to try that out. But just for doing these, it's okay for now. I will at some point show you some of the work that I've done. I've got lots of photos that I took of all the curtains I did, so I'll have to find them and then I can show you all the work that I've done.
Right, well Susie is still sewing those nets for this screen, so we're going to paint this. We found a colour that's going to complement the wallpaper in there, and so I'm going to just lightly sand this down just to give it something to key to, and then I think Susie wants to paint it. I don't mind, she can paint it or I'll paint it, but I think she wants to paint it, so I'm just going to do that, and then when she's finished those nets she can do that.
So that's all 5 done. Now I have to go and paint the screen.
Okay, so my task for the afternoon is to paint the ceiling. I'm in the bathroom, and you may recall from earlier videos the ceiling was pretty hideous. They had actually carried on this wallpaper all the way up to the top. Yeah. So I've given it a couple of coats of white just as a base coat, and I've got a yellow which we've found and had mixed for us, and that's going to match the wallpaper which is around here somewhere. And we're hoping to pick up the colour from this wallpaper, this gold. So we've got a nice yellow base which will brighten up the ceiling, and then we've also, once we've got a couple of coats of that on, we're going to make a decision on whether we put, we've got a little pearlescent gold, it's like a shimmer, and we may go over it with that just to further tie it into this colour. So that's the thinking, and it's the start of doing something with this bathroom. We are going to find a little bit of difficulty once we get to the floor here, because it's going to need major repiping and that sort of stuff, and retiling or whatever. But for now we're just going to start working our way down, and as part of many jobs really. It's a little bit frustrating, as you know, if you know the backstory. We're limited on time and ability now, so we're just trying to pick out jobs that we can do, and then at some point in the future we'll get onto the major stuff. But anyway, 2 coats of yellow coming up. Well, that's dried nicely. I've given that hour and a half. It's pretty much dry. There's a couple of patches that I did at the end, so I'll give that another 10 minutes. So I'm going to get the second coat on. Okay, well that didn't take long to get the second coat on. It's just drying now, so that's why it looks patchy. Colour's lovely. Hope you can get that on film. It's never easy in this bathroom because got one window. If I face the other way, I get the glare of the window. So I'm having to face in this way. Let's have a look. Do it this way. That's more like it. It's a bit lighter than it maybe looks at that end. And it's looking a bit patchy only because it's drying. So we need to have a look at this shimmer, this pearlescent paint, and see if it'll add anything.
What are you doing, Max? Daft dog.
Right, while Susie's working her magic on that screen, I've got a little job, slightly less important, but nonetheless I've been quite looking forward to doing this. It's concerning a painting that we bought at Emmaus. We bought it a couple of years ago whilst we're in our rental property before we moved here, and it was the frame more than anything that drew our attention, because the glass was so dark that we couldn't actually see the subject of the painting, but we could just make out a dog at the centre of the painting, but that was it. So we bought it, and then when we got it home we just cleaned the glass quickly on the outside, and that revealed the picture. And it's a hunting scene actually. There's a man with a shotgun, there's the hunting dog, and there's a pheasant of some sort, a grouse pheasant, whatever. So it's not necessarily our thing, a hunting picture, but it's nice enough in itself. But it was only €2, and like I say, it was more for the frame. So, but I've been intending taking the glass out, give it a scrub on both sides, and have a look at the actual painting itself to see if I can clean that, because I think it's had years of grime on it, I don't think it's an oil painting or anything, but I won't really know until I've taken it out. And so that's what I'm going to do today, just have a little clean up of it. I don't know how clear you'll be able to see it whilst the glass is in, so here we have the dog, and in the background here the man with his shotgun, and the poor little pheasant that doesn't look as though he's got long left on this earth. But you can see the frame. It's quite a nice ornate frame, and for €2 that works. So I'm going to take this picture out and see what we've got. There's a little bit missing here by the looks of it, so it may be that we've got to trim the thing down and put it in another frame, but just want to have a quick look today to see what we need to do. Pretty loose. Okay, so here it is, and the missing pieces are here. So they're going in fairly neat. They're never going to go in perfect, but we might be able to just colour over the edges. It's not an oil, it's just printed really, but it might still be grimy, so it's worth a clean. And the fact that it's been printed means that it'll take a good clean. But I think the first thing I need to do is mount it. This is not the best board, but it's the only one I've got. I don't want to spend money, so I'll probably mount it to the back of that. Right, okay, that's stuck on its back, on its backing. So I'm just going to give this a whole clean. Now, if this was a oil painting or something, I'd have my little cotton buds, but it isn't, so I don't need to go so gingerly with it. Well, a little bit of dirt, it's not too bad, but now I'll give the glass a good clean. Don't know whether you can hear the difference. Okay, that proved a bit stubborn, so I had to resort to the sticky stuff remover. And that got it up, and I just scoured it with this rough part of it, but really lightly. So it's all come off now, and I've mounted it back, so yeah, I'll let you have a look. Right, it's always difficult to film when there's glass because there's a reflection, so I'll just come over to the side really. But it's much cleaner, much more visible. The glass is now clean, and a bit of dirt came off the picture, so that's made it brighter. So, Friday evening, the social event of the year in Coulonges-Thouarsais. So where are we going, honey?
The Red Donkey.
La Rouge, the Red Donkey. It's its opening night tonight.
Just up the road.
And that's where we're going.
That's Rob from across the road.
And Rob's tucking into his salami there. See, he does exist. Well, it's been a good night. It's been packed. A few teething problems, as you expect on the first night. Service was a bit slow. If I'm honest, I don't think they were expecting the numbers, actually. So, but we've had a really good night. We've met a few of the locals we've never met before. So, yeah, good night. Good night had by all.
Right, so I'm just putting the last panel in here. This is quite clever. There's 2 holes each side for the dowels. One side is deeper, it's got a little spring in it. So you push it in. Oops. Springs this side. And then push that up there and it springs into place. So there we are. This colour, it may look grey on camera, but it's actually a pale blue to go with the paper, because I'm going to paint the cupboard blue and do some darker blue on it. And we've also got a towel stand which I'm going to paint. So there we are. Quite pleased with that.
Right, well, recently we bought this mirror and we showed you it, and it complements these 2 lights really well. However, this is slightly brighter than these 2. They're a bit darker. So what we've decided to do, rather than darken this one, we're going to try and make these lighter. And you saw us last week with the gilding racks on the mirror in our bedroom. So we think we can brighten this up with some gilding racks. So I'm going to trip the switch, the electric, and then take these off. And we're going to see if we can get them slightly nearer to each other. They won't necessarily match, that doesn't matter, but there's just quite a contrast at the moment. So we're just trying to bring them together a little bit. Right, so what's the tactic?
Well, just putting this gilding on with the cloth, really.
But all over or just on the darker bits?
No, all over.
All over? Won't
Yeah.
that be too bling?
No, that's the brighter one. This one's a bit dull for some reason. Oh, I'm going to take these bulbs out because they don't seem to be in properly.
Okay, so just go for it then.
Yep.
It's alright.
Oh, yeah.
Done that bit. I'm going over the dark bits first.
Well, it's not going to get in all the cracks and crevices anyway. It's just a highlight, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going at it a bit dainty, but now I'm just whacking it on.
I didn't think it was making a difference, first of all, till I did the side, turned it round.
Yeah.
Well, that sun is still hot at this time of year.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you can see that. Probably in the shade, but that's come up a bit gold already. Right, how does that look to you?
Yes.
Happy with that? Good stuff, or?
Yeah.
I haven't done up here, these bits, have I? Not bad, is it?
No.
So, don't know whether you'll be able to see this on camera. It's, but they've definitely come up a bit brighter, haven't they? So we'll go and fit those and see how they look up there.
Okay.
Okay, well I hope you can see it on camera. There's Susie in the mirror. That's looking a lot better. They're looking a lot more similar, not so dark, these two outer ones. So
I think they need buffing up though.
we'll give them a while to harden up and then buff off the excess. And that'll just give them a shine, because the centre mirror's got a little sheen to it, whereas these have gone slightly dull. But we'll buff those up, but let the wax go fairly hard, and then we'll do that. So, yeah.
Thanks to Michelle for the coffee money to buy our bird feeders. So we actually bought two. We've bought this one and we've bought this one. I put the sticks in here because I didn't have anywhere to put them. I haven't actually seen any birds feeding on them yet, but maybe it's the wrong time of year, I don't know. We do still get the sparrows in the creeper up here, so we'll see. Well, thanks for watching our vlog today. Apologies for not getting one out Wednesday. We've had a bit of a hectic week. I had 2 hospital appointments on 2 different days, plus my birthday in between. It's just been one of those weeks, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it's your quarterly consultation
and scan.
Lots of things to prepare for. So 2 visits to Poitiers, scans, blood tests.
Yeah.
So we just gave up in the end. We thought, well, there's no chance of us getting a video out. So,
no.
But never mind. You have today's. What more could you ask? Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We've made a start on the bathroom.
Yeah.
And there's other rooms that we're going to do bits in as well. But we're pleased with that colour. Just sitting here thinking about it, we didn't get the pearlescent paint out.
No.
Forgot about that. Next time. So we'll have to see if that works. We think it'll just give a nice shimmer to the ceiling.
Yeah.
But we'll get it out and have a look at that.
It's a nice yellow though.
It's a nice yellow.
Because I wanted to lift the gold from the paper.
Yeah. So it's looking nice. So we'd like to thank Brian and Kathy again. Thank you so much. You're very kind. And Earl, who bought us some coffees, and somebody else who will remain anonymous, but we know who you are. So thank you very much. And we'd also like to welcome a new patron this week, but who also wants to remain anonymous, which is perfectly fine. So thank you for joining us on Patreon. It's really kind of you.
And I'd like to thank Anne again. She sent me a lovely note on her nice handmade
Oh
paper.
yes, that was the letter that you received a while back, and
which I haven't replied to.
We put in our vlog. Well, not the letter.
The one thing that they're lacking in France here is stationery shops. They're not big on cards and things like the UK. We've got big Clinton cards and stuff. And we can't find any nice writing paper anywhere, can we?
No, there must be some.
Yeah, it's really strange.
We haven't found any
but
yet.
I wanted to show you the paper Anne sent my birthday gifts in, which I thought was really nice. And I can see she went to a lot of trouble. It was all wrapped up with string. But this is really lovely. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Excuse me. Bees. And they've got gold on. It's just really pretty, isn't it?
Really nice.
So I'm keeping that. Thank you, Anne.
Right. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Things to do. So thank you. And again, once again, if you are a regular watcher, could you consider clicking on the subscribe button for us?
Like.
It really helps us. And if you, the notifications, and if you like the video, press like. And if you don't,
so we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Definitely.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, look who's sunbathing. Hello, Max. No. Oh, hello. And Lexi's waiting for her lunch.